check out the Deseret News for the best place to read about prep sports. Online at desnews.com. Deseret News, now you know.
Well, a very good afternoon. Welcome back to Brent Brown Ballpark on the campus of Utah Valley University. Game 2 of the day between two Region 6 matchup here between the Skyline Eagles, who will be the home team, and the visiting Olympus Titans. Should be a fun one. It was, believe, they've already met 3 times this year, and Olympus won all 3 of those games, 5-0, 3-1, and 3-2. Both these teams finishing in a second place tie in Region 6, so we should be in for our second really good ball game of the day. Our first one, Salem Hills was able to take down Corner Canyon by 1 and stave off a late come from behind kind of rally from the Corner Canyon Chargers. Salem Hills will play tomorrow at 4:30. The winner of this one will play at 1:30 tomorrow afternoon against either Spanish Fork or Sky Ridge, whichever one drops our next contest here of the day. So it will be Christian Condon, the center fielder, to stand in, as you'll see Skyline in the white top or the white pants and the yellow tops. Olympus in the all gray uniforms. We are just about set. Garrett Purcell delivers the first pitch low for ball 1, and we are underway just about 9 minutes past when we were scheduled to start at 1:39, as Purcell's ready to come home with the 1-0 pitch, and that one's going to be rolled right back to the pitcher. Purcell takes a few steps. The underhand toss to first is in time, and there's one away here in the first on the ground out. So that'll bring up the shortstop, Gabe Singer. We'll get you the lineup here momentarily. We were about 68 degrees at first pitch, as Gabe Singer will stand in. The lineup for the Olympus Titans: Christian Condon leads it off. Gabe Singer will hit in the 2 spot. Hayden Curtis, the second baseman, hits third. Alex Cutler, the designated hitter, hits cleanup as the first pitch to Singer goes away for ball 1. AJ Affleck, the catcher, will hit in the 5 spot. Nick Ward, the third baseman, 6. Ryder Vance, the right fielder, 7th. As that one missing low for ball 2. It's 2-0 on Gabe Singer. Isaac Pingree, the first baseman, hits 8th, and then Matt Lewis will round out the order to the left fielder. Pitching for Olympus will be number 6, Adam Haas, as Garrett Purcell comes in with that one right on the outside corner, and it's 2-1, the count here on Gabe Singer. We'll get you the defense here momentarily for the Skyline Eagles, as Garrett Purcell kicks and delivers the 2-1 pitch, which misses low for ball 3. It's 3 balls and a strike. Defensively, it will be Jack Garver in left field. In center field, it will be Taylor Larson. In right, it will be Ethan Jensen. The 3-1 pitch about to come home to Gabe Singer, and that one's going to be popped up and hit down the right field line. Ethan Jensen taking a deep, long run at it, just runs out of time to get there, and the count will go full here on Gabe Singer. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Will Sala will be at third. At short, it will be Seth Kalin. Blake Tomlinson at second. Dakota Porter at first. Catching will be Brendan Lacey, with the right-hander Garrett Purcell on the mound. So we are set. We are excited, ready to go here for game number 2 of the day. 2 more to follow us here as we get into more of what I always call the evening session of ball games here. As time called, Singer will stand out of the batter's box here as once again it's a bright sunshine-filled afternoon. The weather is warm. A great afternoon for baseball. The 3-2 pitch is going to be fouled back, and we'll do it all over again at 3 balls and 2 strikes here on Singer. So Singer making Garrett Purcell work here in the first inning. Top of the first inning, no score, second batter of the ball game. And the 3-2 pitch about ready to come home. The kick and the delivery on its way. Right on the corner, ball 4. And Singer's aboard with a 1-out walk for Olympus. And here comes the second baseman, Hayden Curtis. A good-sized crowd making the trip down from Salt Lake City today. Both of these schools not separated by a very big distance. As the pitch to Hayden Curtis misses low, ball 1, 1 ball and no strikes. The count here, when you take a look at this, these two high schools separated not by very much. You just go down 3900 south, the pickoff move, diving back safely. You would be able to get there. Very close in proximity to one another. Region rivals. That one's popped up by Hayden Curtis. Down the line, it's going to be the third baseman, Sala, who's going to give way to a sliding Seth Kalin, who makes the catch, and they will get the out. A heads-up play, or heads-up base running there by the base runner, Gabe Singer, to scamper back to the bag, as it didn't look like anybody was going to be able to get there, but Seth Kalin made a nice running attempt and then slid right across where the home plate is in the bullpen to make the catch. And with 2 outs, here's Alex Cutler. Gabe Singer, the runner over at first for Olympus. Alex Cutler stands in a wide open stance in that batter's box. The pitch comes in, the ball skips away and gets past the catcher, Lacey. That will go for an extra base. Moving up will be Gabe Singer on the passed ball. They are separated, these two schools, by, well, 5 minutes by car, 1.5 miles or so. Very close, probably two of the closest high schools probably in the state of Utah when you take mileage proximity-wise. The 1-0 pitch on its way. That one's in there over the middle outside corner for a called strike, and it's 1-1. Running on at second base is Gabe Singer. 2 outs in the top of the first inning. Olympus and Skyline. The Eagles trying to get out of it and put a 0 up. Here's the 1-1 pitch on its way, right off the corner of the plate. Checks his swing, ball 2, 2 balls and a strike. The count on Alex Cutler. Both of these teams winning on Saturday. Skyline defeating Springville 11-5. The 2-1 pitch right on the outside corner. This time a called strike, and evens the count up at 2-2 on Alex Cutler. Olympus, actually, they had to play another team from Region 6. So you had 3 teams from Region 6, all in the bottom part of the bracket. In fact, all 4 teams from Region 6 were playing on Saturday, as Cutler swings and misses and goes down, and the inning is over. The first strikeout for Garrett Purcell. Olympus strands 1 in the top of the first. The Skyline Eagles coming up. We'll talk more about Region 6, and we'll have the Skyline Eagles first at-bat of this one here on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com after the break. bottom of the first inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark. Seth Callan to stand in and lead it off here for the Skyline Eagles. Callan, Jack Garver, and Nick Scott, 1, 2, and 3 coming up here in the bottom of the first inning against the right-hander Adam Haas, who gets the start for Olympus. Ready to go, and Haas will deliver the first pitch here over for a called strike, and it's 0-1 on Seth Callan. Well, bottom of the first inning. We were talking at the top of the inning about how all 4 teams from Region 6 were playing on Saturday. The 0-1 pitch on its way. That one's going to be rolled foul, and it's quickly 0-2. There was only one game up at Salt Lake Community College on Saturday that didn't have a team from Region 6, and that was Salem Hills against Box Elder. That was the other games had teams from Region 6. So, for instance, you had Skyline against Springville, then you had Murray Olympus. The Spartans were a very good -- 1 team. The 1-2 pitch misses away for a ball, 1-2. It's been difficult, though, at times for Murray. It seems like in the state tournament, they've just struggled at times with being able to find ways to win the ball game. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count here on Callan, and time called, and Callan will step out of the batter's box. Murray losing in the first round to Maple Mountain. Sorry, that was a second round contest. The Golden Eagles shut him out 8-0 on the road up at Murray. The 1-2 pitch on its way home. That one missing low, ball 2, and it's 2-2 on Callan. And so it'll be interesting as we go throughout. One team from Region 6 will remain at the end of the day, but Olympus and Judge Memorial both losing in their contests. The 2-2 pitch on its way home. That one blocked in the opposite batter's box, ball 3. And the count goes full, 3 balls and 2 strikes on Seth Callan. And so now you have this idea where Region 6 number 2 seeds Olympus and number 3 seeds Skyline are playing. The winner as the 3-2 pitch is going to be bounced towards second. Curtis is going to be there. He'll throw to first in time. There's 1 out. So now the idea comes, and not just you're trying to play for your season, but now you're trying to make sure that you have a region rival to play against. It kind of ups the ante, so to speak, on what's on the line. Jack Garver, the left fielder, to stand in. His first plate appearance of the afternoon. Bottom of the first inning, no score between Olympus and Skyline. As we are getting set and ready to go, the right-hander will kick and deliver the first pitch on its way. That one's going to be lined foul back to the screen. No balls and 1 strike the count here on Jack Garver. Looking to try to see if he can get some good good pitches, maybe some fastballs over the middle of the plate. That one just off the plate for a ball. The count evens up at 1 ball and 1 strike on Jack Garver. Haas working pretty quick on the mound, not really taking a lot of time to come off the mound. The time called here as Garver wants to step out of the batter's box. Skyline in the gold and the blue. Ready to go, the pitch on its way. That one low and in the dirt for a ball, and it's going to be 2 balls and a strike. The count here on Jack Garver. So Garver working the count, and really the Skyline Eagle hitter so far, making Adam Haas throw a few different pitches here as the 2-1 pitch comes on its way. That one's lined the opposite way, but that one goes foul. And we'll do the 2-2 pitch coming over again here to Jack Garver. Nick Scott, the designated hitter, would hit next. We'll give you the lineup here. And it will be Will Sala, the third baseman, hitting 4th. Brendan Lacey, 5th. Blake Tomlinson, the second baseman, hits 6th. Dakota Porter hits in the 7th spot. And that one's going to be grounded right to Hayden Curtis again. He's up with it. His throw to first in time. And there's quickly 2 outs here in the bottom of the first inning. So Hayden Curtis has been pretty busy there at second base. And with 2 outs, it will bring up the DH, Nick Scott. Dakota Porter hits 7th for Skyline. Taylor Larson, the center fielder, hitting 8th. And the pitcher, Garrett Purcell, rounds out the order. Ethan Jensen is playing right field but won't hit, at least in the starting 9 for the Skyline Eagles, as here's Nick Scott, the DH. First pitch, a breaking ball that settles high for ball one. 1 ball and no strikes. Defensively for Olympus, it will be Matt Lewis in left. In center field will be Christian Congdon. In right, it will be Ryder Vance. On the infield from third to first as the 1-0 pitch comes in and blocked in the dirt for a ball, and it's 2 balls and no strikes on Nick Scott. Nick Ward will be the third baseman. Gabe Singer, the shortstop. Hayden Curtis at second. Isaac Pingree over at first, and A.J. Aflac behind the plate. The 2-0 pitch on its way, misses low and outside, ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes, and Adam Haas, the right-hander, on the mound. So lineups and everything are set, and we're set to settle in. Scheduled to play 7. The 3-0 pitch, ready to come home. That one right over at the knees for a called strike, and it's 3-1 on Nick Scott. Scott appeared to be taking all the way right there, and we'll see here. He should see something good to hit here with the 3-1 pitch coming. On its way, and Scott made contact but fouls it back to the screen, and the count is full 3-2 on Nick Scott. The sun has gone behind some clouds here as some of the clouds loom in the distance here. The 3-2 pitch, breaking ball, just misses ball 4, and Nick Scott draws a 2-out walk, and a big base runner there for Skyline as now Will Sala, the third baseman, will come to the plate. Sala will stand in here. Starting third baseman, hitting cleanup with 2 gone here in the bottom of the first inning. Haas working from the stretch for the first time will come home. A fastball that misses low and away. Ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes, the count on Will Sala. Nick Scott, the runner over at first base, getting his lead. Pingree gonna hold them on. A big lead for Scott. Pickoff move, and back underneath the tag there is Nick Scott. We'll see with that lead if whether Skyline doesn't maybe try and see if they can take second base and get a runner in scoring position. The 1-0 pitch on its way home. That one missing low below the knees, ball 2, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. The count here on Will Sala. Infield playing back here for Olympus. Here's the 2-0 pitch on its way, and Sala will foul that one away. And we'll have another 2-1 pitch coming. Olympus in the top of the first got Gabe Singer on via walk and then stranded him on at second base. All 3 of these ball games this year have been very close games, very close and score. Pickoff move, and Scott there just back underneath the tag. I think the throw beat him over to first base, but I think there's Scott able to just kind of get underneath the Porter tag. Another pickoff move and diving back safely. In fact, I'm sorry, that is Taylor Larson that's over at first base. So Larson's over at first, holding the runner on, and the 2-1 pitch on its way. That one's lined to second. Diving catch made by Hayden Curtis, and the inning is over. So both teams get a base runner in the first, and they both strand him. We've played 1. It's Olympus 0, Skyline 0. You're watching the 2017 Class 4A Utah State Baseball Tournament on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. Top of the second inning here at Brett Brown Ballpark in Orem, Utah, as it will be 5, 6, and 7 coming up for Olympus. AJ Affleck will lead it off. Affleck and then Nick Ward and Ryder Vance coming up here against the right-hander Adam Haas, who will go back to work here. No score as we head to the top of the second inning. And we're set, ready to go. The first pitch on its way to Affleck is in there for a called strike, and it's 0-1. No balls and a strike here on the Olympus catcher. The 0-1 pitch on its way home, a pitch that's fouled back to the screen, and it's quickly 0-2 on Affleck. Nick Ward and then Ryder Vance due up here in the top of the second inning. As the winner advances to play tomorrow, and the team that comes up short today, well, their season's going to come to an end. Here's the 0-2 pitch, about ready to come home to AJ Affleck. And the kick and the delivery on its way. That one missing low and outside for a ball. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. The count here on AJ Affleck. Good sized crowd coming out to the ballpark today, making the trip down here on a Monday afternoon to Orem. That one swung out and missed, strike 3, and Purcell has his second strikeout of the ball game. And now we'll bring up the third baseman, Nick Ward. Ward in his first plate appearance will stand in. The pitch on its way, pounding the strike zone right now is Garrett Purcell, and that one's in there for a called strike 1, and it's 0-1. Infield playing all back here for Skyline. The 0-1 pitch on its way, Purcell misses with that one low, and it's 1-1. Ready to go. Here's the 1 ball, 1 strike count. Ready to go. The kick and the delivery on its way. Swung out and missed. Ward there looked to be chasing the slider. And it's 1-2 the count on Nick Ward. Just a gentle breeze going this afternoon as the 1-2 pitch comes in and misses high and away, ball 2. And the count moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes here on Nick Ward. Been great weather last week here for the 3A state tournament. It was kind of cold at times, kind of a little chilly. The 2-2 pitch, that one missing and getting all the way to the backstop as one might have gotten away there from Purcell, and the count goes to 3-2 here on Nick Ward. So it was one of those things all last week. You kept watching the weather, making sure that first off we have good weather all week. Maybe a little rain, but I don't think we're going to have any problems today anyway. That one missing low for a ball, and Nick Ward will draw a 2-out walk. The second walk allowed by Garrett Purcell. Just taking a look at the forecast for the rest of the week, it is supposed to be really nice. 77 tomorrow, 85 on Wednesday, 68 on Friday. So we have some really nice days of weather ahead. Wednesday is going to be great for those 4A semifinals. So with 1 gone, here's Ryder Vance, and the first pitch misses low, ball 1 to Vance, and it's 0-1. Olympus got 1 base runner on back in the first inning and then stranded the runner. 1 ball and no strikes the count. The pitch on its way home, missing low and outside, ball 2, and it's quickly 2 balls and no strikes on Ryder Vance. Purcell here in the second seems to be laboring a little bit, having to try to work the count, having to try to get the pitch over the plate. The 2-0 pitch, that one misses outside, ball 3. And now we'll have Brendan Lacey will go out and have a quick word here with his starting pitcher. Game 2 of 4 on the afternoon. We will have our next game will be up at 4:30. Will be coming up here at 4:30 in the afternoon. Spanish Fork will host, well, I guess won't really host, but they'll play the Sky Ridge Falcons. That one missing low, ball 4. So Ryder Vance draws himself a free pass. The third walk allowed by Purcell, and Olympus has found a way here so far without getting a hit to get a runner in scoring position. And now it's going to bring up number 20, Isaac Pingree. Pingree's first plate appearance of the day. So we're getting ready to go here from the stretch. Purcell coming home and gets a fastball over the middle right around belt high. As you see, Ryder Vance got his lead over at first base. Purcell just doesn't seem overly comfortable when working here from the stretch. No balls and a strike to count on Pingree. That one swung out and missed. And it's 0-2 the count on Isaac Pingree. So Purcell right now trying to see if he can battle back and get a big strikeout here, which would be huge, or a ground ball double play. The 0-2 pitch on its way home, misses low for a ball, and it's 1-2 the count here on Isaac Pingree. One ball and two strikes on the left-handed hitting first baseman Pingree. Working here, it's Purcell, takes a look at the runner at second, kicks and delivers this one, grounded right to first. They'll get the out. Porter does at first. The throw to second, however, kicks into center field. And here comes Nick Ward, and Olympus is on the board. So I thought Pingree was just I thought Porter there was just gonna take the out at first base. I didn't think he was gonna make a throw down to second, and when he took the throw down to second base, the throw just bounces in the dirt, mishandled, and that one's in there for a called strike to Matt Lewis. And when it was mishandled there by, I believe that was Seth Kalin, who played the ball at short. The ball skipped into center field and allowed Ward to score. The 0-1 pitch misses inside and tight for a ball to Matt Lewis, and the count evens up at 1-1 on Matt Lewis. So kind of tough right here to see with Matt Lewis at the plate. One ball and one strike, ready to go. The pitch on its way, a breaking ball. It stays high for a ball, and it's 2-1 the count here on Lewis. Lewis working well here, trying to work the count well. Here's the 2-1 pitch on its way home. That one by Lewis is hit well out to center field. Larson trying to run it down, and he will, and the inning's over. However, Olympus gets their first run of the ball game, and it's 1-0 Titans as we head to the bottom of the second inning here on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com.
One from top of the second inning, score 1 run on no hits. There's 1 error and 1 runner left on base.
Bottom of the second inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark in Orem, Utah. Skyline coming up. It will be Brendan Lacey, Blake Tomlinson, and Dakota Porter. 5, 6, and 7 for Skyline coming up here against Adam Haas, who will look to go back to work. Haas, the right-hander, kicks and delivers the first one. That one's going to be bounced over to first. Fielded by Pingree, who will underhand to Haas, covering the bag. There's 1 out here in the second. That's when all those early season fielding drills really come into play, when you have those routine ground balls as they try to get something going here. With 1 out, here's Blake Tomlinson, the second baseman. Tomlinson standing in from the right side as Haas will kick and deliver the first pitch here with one away, a breaking ball that bounces in there for a ball. It's 1-0 the count here on Blake Tomlinson. One ball and no strikes the count, the pitch and the delivery on its way, and that one's hit well to center field. It's going to send Congdon back, still back, that's going to be all the way to the wall. Deepest part of the park. Tomlinson around second, and Blake Tomlinson will be on third with a stand-up, one-out triple, and the Eagles have the tying run 90 feet from home. That is a dangerous part of the ballpark, especially depending on
number 15, Dakota Porter.
And now with one out, it will be Dakota Porter to stand in. And the pitch on its way, Porter misses for a ball, 1-0 the count here on Porter. Porter, the first baseman, ready to go. The pitch on its way. There's a bunt laid down right back to the pitcher, Haas. They'll look the runner back to third. The throw to first is going to pull the first baseman, Pingree, but Pingree gets his foot on the bag in time for the second out of the inning, and the squeeze play, I think, was on there, but Olympus had it well covered, and so they had to kind of pull it back, and with 2 outs in the inning, Taylor Larson, the center fielder, will come to the plate.
The center fielder, 21, Taylor Larson.
So Larson in from the right side. Here with 2 outs, and the pitch on its way. Gonna block in the dirt, it's gonna skip to the backstop, and scoring from third will be Tomlinson. We're tied at 1. That was one that just didn't get out in front of home plate. It just bounced in the dirt and skipped to the backstop. And with 2 outs in the inning, Tomlinson able to easily scamper home from third, and we're tied at 1. Both teams right now getting fortunate with some miscues from the other one so far. Here's the 1-0 pitch on its way, and that one's lifted by Larson, but that one's gonna be hooking, and it's hooking foul. One ball and 1 strike the count. The pitch on its way home, and that one's gonna be bounced up the middle towards second. Backhanded, the throw to first is gonna be low, but Pingree scoops it out of first, and the inning is over. However, Skyline's able to tie the ball game. We're tied at 1 at the end of 2 here from Brett Brown Ballpark in Orem, Utah. It's the 2017 Class 4A Utah State Baseball Tournament on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com.
Olympus 1, Skyline 1. Check out the Deseret News for the best place to read about prep sports. Online at DesNews.com. Deseret News, now you know. Stats and standings are available at MaxPreps.com. The official stats partner of the UHSAA. RPT is a proud sponsor of high school activities. Visit RPTOnline.com for more information. RPT provides 40 years of exceptional patient care.
Top of the third inning, and the top of the lineup coming up here for the Olympus Titans. It will be Christian Congdon, Gabe Singer, and Hayden Curtis coming up, as the right-hander Garrett Purcell will go back to work. Purcell has been nearly untouchable from the stretch, and that one in there for a called strike, and it's 0-1. However, he seems to be kind of struggling a little bit when he goes into the stretch. may be key for Olympus today, at least against Purcell, to get him into the stretch. That one hits well out in right center field, Congdon, and that one will be ran down by by Johnson, who will make the sliding catch. And there's one out here in the third. So Ethan Johnson able to run it down, and with one gone, here comes Gabe Singer. Singer walked back in the first inning.
Number 14, Gabe Singer.
And then got stranded on the base paths. Each team has, well, Olympus has left 2 Titans on the base paths. That one low and away for a ball. It's 1 ball and no strikes to count here on Gabe Singer. For Skyline, they've left 1 man on the base paths. So we're tied at 1 here in the third. The 1-0 pitch on its way, right on the outside corner for a called strike, and it's evens the count up at 1-1. The Olympus Titans still looking for their first base hit of the ball game. The 1-1 pitch on its way. Singer grounds this one right to second. Fielded by Tomlinson, his throw to first in time, and there's 2 away in the third. So just a hard hit ball, just hit right at the second baseman. They get the out, and with 2 outs, it's Hayden Curtis. And really what could be huge for Garrett Purcell right now is if he had a quick 1-2-3 inning with nobody getting on the base paths. So Purcell 0 for 1. He popped out to the shortstop and is only at bat. The wind and the delivery coming home. There's a fastball right on the outside corner, and it's no balls and a strike here on Hayden Curtis. Curtis has had a busy day defensively for Olympus. The pitch inside and low for a ball, and the count evens up at 1-1. Ready to go. Here's the 1-1 pitch about to come home. The kick and the delivery on its way inside and tight, ball 2. It's 2 balls and a strike on Hayden Curtis. Ready to go. Purcell takes a deep look in. Here's the 2-1 pitch on its way home now, and that one's hit well by Hayden Curtis out into right field. That splits the outfield, rolls to the deepest part of the park in right center field. Curtis around second, he's heading for third. The relay throw into Tomlinson, and Hayden Curtis is standing up on third with a triple with 2 outs. The first Olympus Titans hit of the ball game, and Olympus now has the leading run 90 feet away. As Curtis just hit that ball deep out into right center field, and just split the 2 outfielders in Larson and Johnson. And there is the only turns here to Alex Cutler. Cutler struck out in his only plate appearance, and his first pitch, he takes that one low and away for a ball, and it's 1-0 on Alex Cutler. Ready to go. Here's the 1-0 pitch on its way. That one in there just at the knees for a called strike. And it's 0-1 on Cutler. A.J. Aflac on deck for Olympus if the inning continues. Here's the 1-1 pitch on its way. That one low for a ball. And it's quickly 2 balls and a strike here on Alex Cutler. The sun peeking back through the clouds here in Utah County. Here's the 2-1 pitch. The kick and delivery on its way. Right on the outside corner with a fastball. And it evens the count up at 2 balls and 2 strikes on Alex Cutler. Hayden Curtis sitting on at third base. The Titans trying to knock him in here with 2 outs. Here's the 2-2 pitch on its way. That one's right there. Called strike 3. And the inning is over. The second time that Cutler's gone down on strikes. The second strikeout for Purcell. And Olympus strands a runner 90 feet from home. We head to the bottom of the third inning. Olympus won, Skyline won. You're watching the 2017 Class 4A Utah State Baseball Tournament on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com.
Tickets are available at the UCCU box office for all Smith 6 locations. Tickets go on sale Wednesday, May 24th. Also, the amount store is open. They have last year's merchandise on sale for half price.
Bottom of the third inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark. It will be 9-1-2 coming up, and the pitcher,
Pitcher number 7, Jeffrey Parcell.
as it will be Parcell, Parcell will stand in here from the right side, ready to go. The pitch on its way, low and inside for ball 1 to the Skyline pitcher. It will be Parcell, Kalen, and Garver coming up here in the bottom of the third inning against Haas. The 1-0 pitch fouled back to the screen, and we'll have another 1-1 pitch coming here. Olympus in the gray tops, gray pants with green numbering that say, I believe, Titans across the chest. Skyline in the white tops and yellow pants. I'm going to correct that. The yellow tops and white pants that say Skyline across the chest. Bottom of the third inning, a 1-1 tie here as Purcell stands in and will foul this one away. Made good contact, but sent it well foul. And we'll have another 1-2 pitch coming here to Purcell. Parcell ready to go in the box, and the 2-2 pitch on its way home is right on the outside corner. That one just missing for ball 3, and the count goes to 3 balls and 2 strikes on Parcell. Ready to go. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Ready to come home, and the wind and time called here before Haas could get going. Haas has seemed to be pretty comfortable working quick as the 3-2 pitch swung out and missed, strike 3, and Parcell down on strikes. The first strikeout for Adam Haas on the afternoon, and with 1 gone, it's going to bring up the leadoff man for the Skyline Eagles, as Seth Callan will stand in. Callan 0 for 1, grounded out to the second baseman to lead off the bottom of the first inning for Skyline. Pitch on its way home, and Callan takes that one low for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes, the count here on Callan. Here's the 1-0 pitch on its way, and Callan to third, backhanded by Ward. He'll throw across the diamond in time, and there's 2 away. A nice play by Nick Ward, not an easy play to have to make, having to go to his left and get up and make a good throw across the diamond, but there made it look easy. And with 2 outs, Jack Garver will come to the plate. Garver 0 for 1, rounded out to second in his only plate appearance of the afternoon. We mentioned that it was Olympus that won all 3 of the regular season matchups. To kind of help them get to that 13-1. Garver grounds this one to second. Curtis up with it. He'll underhand toss to first in time, and the inning's over. We've played 3 complete from Brent Brown Ballpark in Orem. Olympus won, Skyline won. You're watching the 2017 Class 4A Utah State Baseball Tournament on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com.
After 3 complete innings of play, it's Olympus 1, Skyline 1. off for Olympus, the catcher, number 40, A.J. Affleck.
A.J. Affleck to lead it off here for Olympus. Affleck, Ward, and Vance coming up against the right-hander Garrett Parcell. 1-1 tie as we head to the middle innings of this one. 4, 5, and 6 coming up. And when I say 4, 5, and 6, I mean innings. It's 5, 6, and 7 coming up here for Olympus. And first pitch, Affleck takes a big cut and came up empty. No balls and a strike. You could tell that A.J. Affleck, who went down on strikes in his first at-bat back in the second inning, was hoping to get a fastball down the plate. Here's the 0-1 pitch on its way, right on the outside corner, and the count moves to 0-2 here on Affleck. Parcell ready to go on the mound, takes a look in, gets the sign, and the 0-2 pitch is going to be swung on and popped up. This is going to go into shallow right field. Coming in is Ethan Johnson. He'll get under it, make the catch, and there's one away. So with one gone, here's Nick Ward. Ward walked and came around to score a run back in the second inning, the only run for the Olympus Titans. Olympus, this has not been a game for both teams where they've had a lot of runs. It's been really a game of finding ways to get guys on base as the first pitch misses for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. So it's been a little bit of a challenge offensively, definitely more of a pitcher's duel. The 1-0 pitch about ready to come home. The wind and the delivery comes in. Ward swings through it, and the count evens up at 1-1. And that may be kind of bad news for either one of these teams, because the two teams at the top, Spanish Fork and Sky Ridge, they will play the loser of that one. That one's popped up into shallow center field. Going out, diving is the center fielder Larson, who can't come up with it. And Nick Ward has himself a bloop single, but it will look like a line drive in the box score as that one falls for a base hit. And that's kind of the tough part right now for whoever this team has to play. Is Sky Ridge this season has scored 243 runs. And Spanish Fork has scored 198 runs, but they've only allowed 62 all year. So runs could be at a premium, could cause both of these teams some trouble in the next round. One out here as Ryder Vance stands in. First pitch on its way. Vance takes that one low for ball 1. 1-0 the count. Nick Ward, the runner over at first base. We've seen that Garrett Parcell has gotten a little more concerned when there's been a runner over at first base as he works here from the stretch. Ward kind of inching closer towards second. That one's going to be grounded to second base. Tomlinson's only play will be first. He'll make the throw in time. So Ryder Vance able to do his job, just move the runner up 90 feet. And with 2 outs in the inning, Isaac Pingree comes to the plate with a huge RBI opportunity for both these teams. You just don't know how many of these opportunities you're going to get as the game wears on. And with 2 outs, it's Pingree who's 0 for 1, grounded out to the first baseman, and his only at bat of the day. Pitch on its way, and that one's going to be rolled foul. It was Pingree who was at the plate in the second inning with runners on at first and second. He had a ground ball to Dakota Porter, and Porter touched first base to get the out on Pingree, and then turned to throw to second, and the ball got in the dirt, kicked off the glove of the second baseman, went into center field. As Pingree there lines this one right to third, and Sala is there to make the catch, and the 4th inning comes to an end. So the one hit by Olympus, and they strand a runner. We head to the bottom of the 4th inning at Brent Brown Ballpark. Olympus and Skyline were tied at 1 of the 2017 Class 4A Utah State Baseball Tournament on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. Bottom of the 4th inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark in Orem, Utah. Nick Scott, Will Sala, and Brendan Lacey coming up here for the Skyline Eagles. And the first pitch on its way is fouled back to the screen, and it's 0-1 on Nick Scott. Scott walked back in the first inning, was stranded on the base paths as Skyline with 1 run on 1 hit. The 0-1 pitch on its way, and Scott takes that one, bounces in for a ball, and it's 1-1 on Nick Scott. Bottom of the 4th inning, a quick moving ball game here, just about 50 minutes in. The pitch right on the outside corner and misses for a ball. It's 2-1 on Scott. Ready to go, the right-hander Adam Haas winds and delivers, and Scott swings through it. I think he might have fouled it back to the screen, and it's 2-2 on Nick Scott. Haas, you can see him right now on the mound. He's very much one, maybe takes a step off the pitcher's mound and then steps right back on. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That one missing low and outside, ball 3. And the count goes full, 3 balls and 2 strikes on Nick Scott. Matt Lewis, Christian Congdon, and Gabe Singer coming up for Olympus in the top of the 5th as Scott lines that one right back up through the box for a base hit. And Skyline has the leadoff man on for the first time this afternoon. And this is where it will be interesting to see if we start to see both coaches. Both head coaches have not had a lot of base runners to really employ the speed-up runner, but this is where it starts to get kind of interesting to see how much that speed-up runner can make a difference. Here's Will Sala, the third baseman. Sala 0 for 1, hit a line drive to Hayden Curtis. Back in his only at-bat to end the first inning. Pick-off move and Scott diving back. Nick Ward playing even with the third base grass with nobody out. I think Olympus protecting against Sala laying down a bunt. Sala not bunting there, lines this one into left center. It's going to fall in front of the center fielder, Congdon, who will make the throw in, and now runners on at first and second with still nobody out for Brendan Lacey. So a couple of back-to-back base hits here for Skyline. And Brendan Lacey, who's 0 for 1 with a with a ground out to the first baseman, will stand in. This is very much a bunting situation here, especially with runs being at a premium. No bunting as Lacey hits one to center field. Going back a few steps, reaching up, making the catch is Congdon. He'll make a throw into third, which is cut off by Singer. And so that will move Nick Scott from second to third. So runners on the corners, and you're still a ground ball potentially from being out of it with no damage done. As here comes, it will be Blake Tomlinson. Tomlinson, 1 for 1, had a triple the deep left center field, went to the very deepest part of the park. As Congdon had to run that one down well here earlier, as we'll see Affleck come out and give some signs there to his infield. 1 away, bottom of the 4th inning, a 1-1 tie between Olympus and Skyline. The Region 6 rivals playing to continue their season. 1 out here, runners on the corners here. And the bunt show, they're trying the suicide squeeze. They pop the bunt up and it goes foul as the catcher, Affleck, I don't think saw it. It was right behind him and he turned around. He may have been able to catch it, but will go foul and no balls and a strike. What I don't know is the home plate umpire put his hands up pretty quick, so I think it might have been a dead ball foul. No balls and a strike. Nick Ward playing even with the grass. We've seen Skyline try the suicide squeeze or the safety squeeze or something right there earlier on in the ball game, and they just didn't get a great look at it. That was after Tomlinson's triple. Pitch on its way, not bunting there. Here's the throw down. They're going to try to get the run at the plate. The throw back to get the runner is not in time, and scoring on the play is Nick Scott. It's 2-1 Skyline. Sala took off for second, And a good throw from Affleck was cut off by Curtis, and Curtis came back to the plate. But it appears that Affleck may have not have held on to the baseball after the slide. A heads-up slide there. Gets the run in. It's 2-1 Skyline. No balls and 2 strikes the count here on Blake Tomlinson. The runner kind of bouncing around out there at second base. Adam Haas will step off the mound. No balls and 2 strikes the count. Haas checks the runner out at second base and comes home. Tomlinson pops it up into right field. Vance getting back under it. He will make the catch for the second out of the inning. Tagging and going down to third. Here's the throw, and they got him at third base. Will Sala with a late tag, and the relay goes from Vance to Curtis to Ward, and the inning is over. Skyline, however, gets 1 run, and at the end of 4 complete, it's the Skyline Eagles 2, the Olympus Titans 1. You're watching the 2017 Class 4A State Baseball Tournament on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com.
Before completing the points, Skyline 2, Olympus 1. Leading off for Olympus, left fielder number 10, Matthew Lewis.
Bottom of the 5th inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark in Orem, Utah, as Matt Lewis will stand in to lead it off for Olympus. And the first pitch in there for a called strike at the knees, and it's 0-1 on Lewis. It will be Lewis, Congdon, and Singer coming up as the Titans find themselves trailing in this one by a score of 2-1. Skyline not able to have the most flashiest way of getting runs, but they were able to produce a run in the bottom of the 4th inning to get a 2-1 lead. Here's the 0-1 pitch on its way, and there's a bunt shown by Lewis, and he fouls it, I think, into the glove for strike 2, and it's 0-2. Lewis 0 for 1 this afternoon. It's flown out to center in his only other plate appearance of the afternoon. Garrett Purcell now pitching with the lead in the 0-2 pitch. On its way, swung out, a miss, strike 3, and Matt Lewis down, the 3rd strikeout for Purcell. And with 1 gone here in the 5th, it goes back to the top of the lineup and Christian Congdon. Congdon 0 for 2, grounded out to the pitcher and then flew out to right.
Christian Congdon.
Purcell ready to go here again, and that one's gonna miss for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes here. The winner of Olympus, the winner of this one advances to play 1 more game for sure. They would have to come back and win twice tomorrow. The breaking ball in there at the knees for a called strike, and it's 1-2. Would have to win twice tomorrow and then once on what would be Wednesday to advance to Friday's 1:30 p.m. championship game. The 1-1 pitch is going to be a short stroke hit into the deep left side of the infield. The 1-hop throw not going to be a time. It skips past the first baseman, Dakota Porter. And so Congdon will reach here in the 5th inning with a leadoff single, as just kind of shortened the stroke. And Seth Callan there came up with it deep in the hole, was going to have to make almost a perfect throw to first in order to get Congdon, and just couldn't come up with it. And now with 1 gone, here comes Gabe Singer. Singer 0 for 1, walked and grounded out to second. The pickoff move, the quick move over to first, and back safely is Congdon. The 4A State Baseball Tournament running today, tomorrow, Wednesday, and then Friday. Thursday's kind of as that pitch is popped up, hit down the line into fair territory. Porter's going to catch it in foul ground, and there's 2 away. Thursday set up for kind of like a rain day, where if for some reason we got behind schedule and we weren't able to play a day, or we had to move some games from maybe late Wednesday night into Thursday, we could do that without studying behind the state championship schedule. And with 2 outs, here's Hayden Curtis, who's 1 for 2. However, I don't think, looking at the forecast, it's supposed to be nice all week. The pickoff move and back safely is Congdon over at first. I don't think we'll need that day this year anyway. I know in years past, though, we've gotten some inclement weather popping through here the last couple of years that we've been out here at Brent Brown Ballpark. And the pitch on its way to Curtis. That one's lined right to center field, and getting under it is Larson. He'll make the catch, and the 5th inning comes to an end. So Olympus gets a man on in Christian Congdon, but they strand him. We head to the bottom of the 5th inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark. It's Skyline 2, Olympus 1. You're watching the 2017 Class 4A Utah State Baseball Tournament on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com.
Visit MaxPress.com for stats, schedules, rosters, and more. Max Press, America's source for high school sports.
Bottom of the 5th inning, it will be Dakota Porter, Taylor Larson, and then Garrett Parcell. The bottom part of the Skyline lineup due up here in the bottom of the 5th inning as Dakota Porter fouls the first pitch away. Porter is 0 for 1, grounded back to the pitcher in his first at-bat. That one's in there at the knees for a called strike, and it's quickly 0-2 on Dakota Porter. Adam Haas has done his job on the mound this afternoon, has kept his team in it. The 0-2 pitch bounces in the dirt for a ball, and it's 1-2 the count here on Dakota Porter. Just kind of exactly what you were looking for today, is sometimes pitchers are going to make mistakes, but you want them to at least give you a shot to stay in the ball game. That one blocked in the dirt for a ball, and it's 2-2 the count here on Dakota Porter. Olympus 1 run on 3 hits and no errors. It's Skyline with 2 runs on 3 hits. Both teams have had to get a little creative to score runs today as Porter hits this one to right. Coming on strong, diving and not making the catch is going to be Vance. Heading into second, that ball's on the deepest part of the park. They will hold Dakota Porter with a leadoff double, and Skyline back in business with a runner in scoring position with nobody out. And I think we'll have a visit here out to the mound, and they're going to talk. That's one of the Skyline coaches actually over there. We'll have a runner come in. I think that's going to be number 18 come in a run here for Skyline. As we'll see here how they'll sort this out here. It's going to be, we'll have a runner out at second base, and this is where that speed up runner rule can kind of get interesting. Wankier will go out and run out at second base. for Dakota Porter. So nobody out here, and Taylor Larson, the center fielder, will stand in. The fourth hit of the ball game for Skyline. We'll see Larson's not bunting, takes a cut there and swings through it. No balls and a strike on Larson. Larson 0 for 1, grounded to second in his only plate appearance here of the afternoon for Skyline. Wankier gets his lead out at second base. The pitch misses low for a ball, and the count evens up at 1-1. From the stretch, working here. Haas will work from the stretch, takes a look out at second base, and the 1-1 pitch swung out and missed. And it's 1-2 the count here on Taylor Larson. Next game here at Brent Brown Ballpark, starting at 4:30. It will be the Spanish Fork Dons and the Sky Ridge Falcons. The Falcons deep in the state tournament in their first year. That one's fouled back, and it's 1-2. We saw Corner Canyon last year in their first ever state tournament. They made a deep run. We'll see if the Sky Ridge Falcons can follow suit. And then coming up later tonight at 7 p.m., it will be the Maple Mountain Golden Eagles and the Timpanogos Timberwolves. That should be a good one. The 1-2 pitch is going to be rolled foul. Maple Mountain probably playing some of their best baseball of the 2017 season, and Timpanogos probably the favorite, I know by a lot of different people, to come in and potentially win the entire tournament. The T-Wolves bringing back a lot off last year's team. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That ball's pulled and hooking, foul off the green fence. You can see it. There's the main kind of green padded fence, and then the extension of that, you have kind of a, I guess it's a kind of like a cyclone fencing there. And you saw the ball there hit off that. The yellow line down on that cyclone fencing, that's what you have to do to get it out for a home run. Ground ball to third. Nick Ward up with it. He'll throw across the diamond for the first out of the inning. Big thing there is that will hold the runner, Wankier, at second base. And here is Garrett Parcell, the pitcher. Parcell 0 for 1, went down on strikes back in the third inning. Olympus has left 5 men on base today compared to Skyline's 1. To kind of give you an idea, the Titans from Olympus have had opportunities to get runs across. The first pitch misses low for a ball, and it's 1-0 the count here on Parcell. In this pitcher's duel where every base matters. Here's the 1-0 pitch, about ready to come home, and that one swung out and missed. And the count moves to 1-1 here on Garrett Parcell. Adam Haas from the stretch takes a look at the runner at second, comes home. That one missing low and away ball two. 2-1 the count. As you can see Wankier there. A distance between second and third. Ball in the dirt there. He'll have a good shot at moving up. Here's the 2-1 pitch on its way. That one's going to be bounced over to third. Ward tried to stab it and couldn't. Wankier will be held at third. The throw cut off by Ward. And now runners on the corners for Skyline as Parcell was able to just bounce one through the left side. Runners on the corners. And Seth Callan will come to the plate. Callan's 0 for 2. And now I think we're going to have... We may end up having somebody run over at first for the pitcher Parcell. I didn't see him come off the field. And nope, that is Parcell running over at first base. And now we'll have time called here. Ready to go here is a couple of conversations. As Seth Callan will come to the plate. Callan's bounced to second and grounded out to third. The dangerous part here with a ground ball, especially up the middle, Skyline will play the infielders up the middle back at double play depth where they may be able to try to turn two and get out of it. There'll be runners on the corners here though with one gone. From the stretch, time called, and now Callan will step out of the batter's box. Jack Garver, the left fielder, on deck if the inning would continue past Callan. Pingree holding the runner at first, and the pickoff move, diving back safely. This has been a position where we've seen Skyline be willing to bunt today, and so now we'll kind of see here how they decide to play this. We've also saw that in the same situation, Skyline sent the runner from first, and then Hayden Curtis's throw just didn't get home in time to get the out at the plate. Runner not going there. That one's pulled foul by Kalen, and it's no balls and a strike on Seth Kalen. The winner of this one plays tomorrow afternoon. It will be a 1:30 first pitch. Tomorrow we get underway here from Brent Brown Ballpark. Will be at 1:30, 4:30, and then 7. The winners of tomorrow's game have to play again and win again to advance. Callan lays the bunt down. The run will score. The only play is first, and right there, Seth Callan does his job. Gets Wankier home from third, and it's a 3-1. It's a 3-1 lead for Skyline. So here's Jack Garver coming to the plate. Garver now 0 for 2, and we'll have a runner out at second base. And I believe is going to be number 16, Isaac Stroheim, coming in to run. So Stroheim goes out to second to run, in this case for Parcell. Stroheim goes out to second base. Garver now. A base hit here really opens this ball game up, as Haas will look the runner back to the second base bag. 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th inning. Skyline's just used a couple of timely hits to kind of extend this ball game and really kind of put everything out of reach. With 2 gone and the pitch on its way, but misses low and outside for a ball. It's 1-0 the count here on on Garver. Working from the stretchers, the 1-0 pitch. That one low for a ball. And it's 2 balls and no strikes, the count here on Jack Garver. Working here from the stretch. Ready to go. Here's the 2-0 pitch on its way. High ball 3. And the count runs to 3-0 here on Jack Garver. A walk here doesn't kill you. However, what it does do is it gets back into the middle part of that Skyline lineup with Nick Scott and Will Sala. Here's the 3-0 pitch, about ready to come home, and Haas hits the inside corner there for a called strike, and it's 3-1 on Jack Garver. 3-1, a fastball count. We'll see if Garver comes through here with a big base knock. That was going to be a fly ball hit into left field. Going back is going to be Lewis. He'll make the catch, and the inning is over. One run added, though, for the Skyline Eagles. We head to the 6th. Skyline 3, Olympus 1. You're watching the 2017 Class 4A Utah State Baseball Tournament on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. Top of the 6th inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark in Orem, Utah, as it will be Alex Cutler to lead it off, and he takes the first pitch called strike, and it's 0-1. It will be Cutler, Affleck, and Ward. 4, 5, and 6 coming up for the Olympus Titans here in the top of the 6th inning. The pitch, Cutler swings and hits this one well to center field, and it's going to fall in front of Larson at center field for a base hit. So a big base knock there for Olympus, but the big story for the Olympus Titans has been they've been able to find ways to get runners on base, but then they haven't been able to score those runners. As we'll have a runner come in over at first base. It will be number 33, that's Sam Goetz. The junior will come in to run over at first for Cutler. And here's Affleck, who's 0 for 2. Affleck has struck out and flown out to right in his 2 plate appearances today. As the right-hander gets ready to go, will get ready to go to work, and that one blocked in the dirt. A good stop by Lacey, and it's 1-0. Right now, Olympus only has 6 outs to work with, so it kind of shows you a little bit here, a sense of urgency, so to speak, from the Olympus Titans to try to get a run or 2 back. Well, I mean, 2 runs would tie the ball game, but at least try to get 1 run back at this point in order to try to chip into that lead. 1 ball and no strikes, they count on Affleck. And the pitch on its way home, low, but it's going to be a called strike at the knees. And the count evens up at 1-1. The middle part of the lineup will be coming up here for Skyline in the bottom of the inning. Here's the 1-1 pitch, about ready to come home. Fastball blocked in the dirt, it's going to skip away. Moving down to second, making the turn is Goetz. He'll be there. And now a huge opportunity for Olympus with a runner on at second base and nobody out. This is one of those moments in the ball game where we saw Corner Canyon in the first game that they weren't able to get that run home, and that really kind of changed the ball game. 2 balls and a strike to count here on A.J. Affleck. Corner Canyon had a runner at third base and the 2-1 pitch is pulled foul, and it evens the count up at 2-2. The Chargers had runners on the corners with less than 2 outs, and I believe in that 5th inning against Salem Hills this morning, and they had back-to-back infield pop-ups, and they weren't able to get that run home. Conversation right now going on between the Olympus dugout and the home plate umpire, as a right-hander will begin to start to throw in the Olympus bullpen. Down the right field line, the Titans having the first base dugout. Here's the 2-2 pitch on its way, and that one's popped up down the line. Coming in, the right fielder Johnson, that's going to fall for a base hit. Moving up and going to third will be Goetz, and now the tying run on the base paths. The leading run in Nick Ward coming to the plate. One of those base hits, again, that won't really matter how you got it, but what matters there is you do get the big base hit. And right there with nobody out now, runners on the corners, you have a 1-for-1 Nick Ward, and we'll have a visit here out to the mound by one of the coaches for Skyline. We'll come have a conversation here on the mound. Today's the remaining schedule today. Coming up at 4:30, the Spanish Fork Dons will be in action against the Sky Ridge Falcons. Both those teams, believe those 2 teams finished 1st and 2nd in their region. Spanish Fork, I know, winning Region 8, but Sky Ridge, I believe, came in. They're the number 3 seed officially out of Region number 7. Maple Mountain, the number 3 seed out of Region 8. Well, they'll get the number 1 seed out of Region 7. The Timpanogos Timberwolves, that will be the nightcap here at Brent Brown Ballpark. And unfortunately, we'll be sending 2 more teams home today, with Corner Canyon already dropping a game to the Salem Hills Skyhawks this morning. And whoever drops this ball game will have their season come to an end as well. So there will be runners on the corners here with nobody out. And now we'll have a speed up runner over at first. Cole Taylor will run. So Cole Taylor to run over at first for Affleck. And Nick Ward, the third baseman, stands in. The pitch on its way. Ward swinging first pitch, fouls it back, and it's 0-1. This starts to become one of those big opportunities here where you really do need to try to come through, get some kind of a run back here. You don't want to be trailing by multiple runs heading to the 7th. Right here from the stretch, ready to go. And they'll look all the runners back to the bag. No balls and 1 strike to count here on Nick Ward. Runners on the corners, nobody out. Garrett Parcell trying to work through this in the 0-1 pitch. Misses for a ball, and the count evens up here at 1 ball and 1 strike. Ward taking a look down to get directions from his head coach in the third base coach's box. We're just about to hit 3 o'clock in the afternoon. A very nice, great day. I'm happy to be with everybody here on a Monday afternoon of the state tournament. Ward swings through it, and it's 1-2 the count on Nick Ward. I'm convinced it's one of the best weeks of the year anyway, to be here and have an opportunity right now to watch a 4A and a 5A state championship decided. I'm Ryan Pickens as we get set, ready to go. 2 more games coming up tonight. We got a good one here. Parcell checks the runners, comes home, and that's going to be a call. Strike 3, and he throws Nick Ward. That is the 4th strikeout for Parcell. And now Ryder Vance will come to the plate. Vance has walked back in the 2nd and grounded out to 2nd back in the 4th inning. And this is one of those situations, if you're Olympus, you don't need necessarily a 3-run homer. You just need right now a way to get that run home from third. The pickoff move and diving back safely is Cole Taylor. A lot of pressure right now on Brendan Lacey to make sure he keeps that ball in front of him behind the plate. The pitch on its way. Bunt shown. They get it back to the pitcher. The run's going to try to score. Parcell had a hard time getting it out of his glove, so they will get the 1 run in as Goetz scores. Moving up to 2nd is Cole Taylor. Vance retired, however. But credit Ryder Vance with the RBI, and now Isaac Pingree comes up, needing a big base knock here to try to tie this ball game. Pingree has hit the ball hard today, has grounded out to first and also lined out to the third baseman Sala to end the 4th inning. Pitch on its way, misses high with the breaking pitch. It's 1 ball and no strikes here, the count. 1 ball and no strikes, the count, ready to go. Pingree working here, the first baseman. Parcell ready to go. And the pitch on its way. And Pingree's going to fist this one into left center field. It will fall. And we're going to be tied at 3 here in the 6th as Taylor scores from 2nd. And Isaac Pingree ties the ball game with a base knock. And there's the two speed up runners that change the ball game as they're able to find ways to score runs. And with 2 outs, it extends the inning. And here's the left fielder, Matt Lewis. Lewis 0 for 2, flew out to center and struck out. Parcell ready to go. The pitch on its way, swung out and missed. It's 0-1. Right now, it's no balls and a strike to count. Ready to go. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Working from the stretch, and the 0-1 about ready to come home. The delivery on its way. Lewis will make contact, but sends it foul off the dugout, and it's quickly 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes the count. Ready to go, and here is the 0-2 pitch, about ready to come home. The runner over at first base, Isaac Pingree, gets his lead. From the stretch, the right-hander will deliver home. That one missing just below the knees for a ball. And it's 1-2 the count here on Matt Lewis. Olympus and Skyline. One will have their season continue. One, their season will come to the end. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Lewis swings and misses. Strike 3. Strikeout number 5 for Parcell. And the inning is over. But Olympus gets 2 back. We head to the bottom of the 6th. We're tied at 3. Olympus and Skyline on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. Bottom of the 6th inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark in Orem, Utah. It's a brand new ball game. We're tied at 3. Heading to the bottom of the 6th inning, it will be 3, 4, and 5 for Skyline. Nick Scott, Will Sala, and Brendan Lacey coming up against the right-hander, who I believe it will be. That's a new pitcher. It will be Hayden Curtis, the right-hander, who will come in. Going out to play second base for Hayden Curtis, Nick Ward. And it's number 2 coming into the game, Andrew Shepard, to play over at third base. So breaking ball gets in there for ball 1. Has some changes all over the place. Ward to second, Andrew Shepard off the bench. And Curtis to the mound, and the 1-0 pitch is fouled back to the screen, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. 3-3 tie, bottom of the 6th inning. We're scheduled to play 7 here this afternoon. The 1-1 pitch on its way is fouled down the line, and it's 1-2 the count here on Nick Scott. Scott has reached base in both his plate appearances today. A single in the first and a walk in the first and a single in the 4th. That one missing away for a ball, and evens the count up at 2-2. Scott came around to score a run back in the 4th inning. And here's the 2-2 pitch. About ready to come home, and the breaking ball stays high, ball 3. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes. Some action going now in the Skyline bullpen. So right-hander starts to throw. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Swung out and missed, strike 3. And Nick Curtis gets a big strikeout. Or Hayden Curtis, gets a big strikeout. His first of the ball game. And here comes Will Sala to the plate. Up in the bullpen, it's Ashton Graham, the right-hander, throwing for Skyline. That one in there for a called strike to Will Sala, and it's 0-1. Great day at the ballpark as the 0-1 pitch on its way misses for a ball, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. The count here on Will Sala. Sala 1 for 2, lined out to second and singled in the 4th. Here's the 1-1 pitch, a breaking ball that comes inside and tight. For ball 2, it's 2-1 on Sala. Hayden Curtis, the right-hander, ready to go. The pitch is going to be fouled back to the screen, and it's going to be 2-2. Giving it a look there was Pingree, the first baseman, but that one well foul down, I believe, into like the utility area. Late inning baseball, Region 6 rivals. Here's the 2-2 pitch. On its way, breaking ball, stage high, ball 3, and the count runs full, 3-2 on Will Sala. Infield back here for Olympus. The 3-2 pitch, strike 3 called, and Hayden Curtis has back-to-back strikeouts. That one looking, and with 2 gone, it's Brendan Lacey. Lacey's grounded out to first and has flown to center today. And right now, if you're Skyline, you're just trying to find some way of getting a base runner on the base paths. And the pitch on its way, fastball inside and tight, ball 1, 1-0 the count on Brendan Lacey. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That one in the dirt, a good stop as it was Affleck who I think lost the ball behind the plate, and it's quickly 2-0. Here's the 2-0 pitch on its way home, right on the outside corner for a called strike. And it's going to be 2-1, the count here on Brendan Lacey. For Olympus, they'll have the top of the lineup coming up in the 7th. The 2-1 pitch is going to be grounded to third, backhanded by Shepard. Fresh off the bench, and he completes the throw to first in time, and the inning is over. We head to the 7th here at Brent Brown Ballpark. In Orem, we're tied at 3 between Olympus and Skyline. Coming back, we head to the 7th on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com.
DHS. We have white Acura, license number C621NZ. We have a gray Ford F-150, license number 8E1LOL0R. We have a black Kia, license number Z069FA, and a black Toyota Tundra, license number D830CS. All those cars have to be moved immediately.
Well, it's the top of the 7th inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark in Orem, Utah. The top of the lineup coming up for Olympus as Christian Condon stands in to lead it off. Condon 1 for 3, a single and a fly out and a ground out. The first pitch misses low for a ball 1, 1 ball and no strikes. Condon grounded back to the pitcher and flew out to right. His other 2 plate appearances on the afternoon. And here's the 1-0 pitch, about ready to come home, and that one's lined into right center field. Coming over, though, and leaping into the air to make the catch is Ethan Johnson, and there's 1 away. 1 gone, here's Gabe Singer. Singer 0 for 2 in the ball game with a walk, is grounded back to the second baseman and popped out to the first baseman back in the 5th. A.J. Parcell, the right-hander, kicks and delivers this one, and that one misses low for ball 1, 1 ball and no strikes. Top of the 7th inning, High school baseball, 7 innings is a completed game. The 1-0 pitch, Singer lifts this one into deep left center field. That could be trouble. That's going to fall. Singer around first, heading into second base. Over to make the throw in is Larson, going for third, and sliding in there safely is Singer. And now Olympus 90 feet away from the lead here in the 7th. Gabe Singer ran hard out of the batter's box and took a little bit of a chance going from second to third, and he was able to get in underneath the tag. And now Hayden Curtis a chance to help his own cause here, where if he could just lift a fly ball to the outfield, probably would give Olympus the lead. Runners on and time called, and we'll have a visit out to the mound here with 1 out. I kind of wonder, and what does kind of go through my mind, you have Hayden Curtis who's 1 for 3. You have a 1 for 3 Alex Cutler on deck. I wonder, I mean, in a sense, you want to have either a force out or at least a shot at the double play. It kind of makes me wonder if they may not just put Hayden Curtis on. It may be a little bit of a too conservative of an approach, but you have to kind of wonder if there may be some advantages in this case of putting Curtis on at first base, where at least you have the double play in order up the middle, and at least maybe if you get a ground ball, you can try to either turn 2 or get the out at the plate. So we'll see what they elect to do here with Curtis. Alex Cutler would be the hitter, but then you're kind of in a tough position here as if whether or not they're going to put Cutler on. The head coach for Skyline just came out of the dugout, and they're going to intentionally put Curtis on. That's going to bring up Alex Cutler, the designated hitter, and we kind of wonder here with the way the infield is positioned, I don't know if even Cutler is going to have an opportunity to hit. He will be the hitter in this situation as the intentional base on ball is given to Hayden Curtis. And now Alex Cutler will be the hitter. The double play back in order for Skyline. Cutler will have a chance to hit. Cutler 1 for 3. A couple of strikeouts and then had a single. And then it was Sam Goetz who came in the 6th to run for him, and he had an opportunity to get the run across. And he came around to score the run. 3-3 tie in the top of the 7th inning. Runners on the corners. We'll see if Skyline sends Hayden Curtis. The pitch on its way. That one misses low for a ball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes to count here on Alex Cutler. Porter, the first baseman, holding Curtis pretty close to the bag. And the 1-0 pitch to Cutler right on the outside corner, but missed for ball 2, and it's 2-0 the count. Ready to go here. 2 balls and no strikes, 1 gone, top of the 7th inning. Olympus trying to put the run across to take a lead here late. That one high and tight, ball 3, and now Garrett Parcell 1 ball away from loading the bases with less than 2 outs. This could be a really dangerous time right here. Here's the 3-0 pitch on its way in there for a called strike at the belt. And it's 3-1 on Alex Cutler. If you're Skyline right now, you were really looking for a ground ball to second or short. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Swung out a miss. Runner takes off. They'll let Curtis take the bag. And now the count goes full, 3-2 on Cutler. And the infield now, the hard part is if you're Skyline, now you have to once again kind of bring the infield in. The infield coming in for Skyline. They'll try to cut down any run at the plate. The runners don't have to go anywhere, and Cutler fouls that one back, and the count stays full, 3-2. That is one thing right now is if Gabe Singer and Hayden Curtis don't want to run here with 1 out and take a shot at being thrown out, they don't have to. They can just simply go back to the bag and they'll be perfectly fine. The outfield playing shallow as well, as Cutler hits this one down the right field line. Long run for Johnson. He'll make the catch over towards the foul line. Tagging, here comes the throw. It's up the line, and Olympus has a 4-3 lead. Singer was able to score on the fly ball that was hit down the line. It was a good throw from Alex Johnson, strength-wise. It had plenty to get to the plate, but the throw goes up the third baseline. And now it will bring up A.J. Affleck with a chance here to try to see on a base hit to potentially open it up to a 2-run lead for Olympus. Parcell comes home and the first pitch in there for a called strike, 0-1. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 7th for Skyline, it will be Blake Tomlinson, Dakota Porter, and Taylor Larson. 6, 7, and 8 coming up. Here's the 0-1 pitch on its way. That one swung out and missed. Strike 2, and it's 0-2 the count on A.J. Affleck. The Spanish Fork Dons have arrived. They'll play at 4:30 in our next ball game against the Sky Ridge Falcons. Don't see a lot of orange here yet, so I don't think the Falcons are here. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swung out and missed, strike 3. And Parcell able to get strikeout number 6. And we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. Olympus adds 1. Skyline needs 1 to tie. They need 2 to advance to the next round of the state tournament. We'll find out what they do. Tomlinson, Porter, and Larson coming up after the break here on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com.
Check out the Deseret News for the best place to read about prep sports online at DeseretNews.com. Deseret News, now you know.
Bottom of the 7th inning, it all comes down to this. If you're the Skyline Eagles, 1 run to send it to extras. You need 2 runs to win, and then if you don't score at all, your season comes to an end. Here's Blake Tomlinson, 1 for 2 this afternoon, including a triple and a run scored back in the 2nd. A pitch on its way, a breaking ball in the dirt for a ball, and it's 1-0 here on Blake Tomlinson. Dakota Porter on deck, and then Taylor Larson, all to face Hayden Curtis. The 1-0 pitch about ready to come home, and that one missing low and outside for a ball. And it's 2 balls and no strikes to count as we'll have a 2-ball, no strike count. 2-0 pitch fouled back to the screen by Tomlinson, and it's 2 balls and a strike. Olympus, they hold on. The Titans will play again tomorrow at 1:30. Same time, same place. A 2-1 pitch lifted down the first baseline, going to give it a look and diving, but the ball was way out of reach there. Good effort for Pingree to, make an attempt, but ball goes well foul, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. From the stretch, Curtis. From the windup, he will get ready to kick and deliver the 2-2 pitch. Fouled back to the screen. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes here on Blake Tomlinson. Tomlinson right here looking to try to see if he can get aboard for Skyline. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball is going to be lined into left field for a base hit. A big base knock there for Blake Tomlinson, his 2nd hit of the day. And the tying run for Skyline's aboard first base. And now it will bring up Dakota Porter, the first baseman. Porter 1 for 2, was grounded back to the pitcher and then had a run-scoring double back in the 5th inning. Tomlinson will get his lead over at first base. It will push for the first time this afternoon. Hayden Curtis into the stretch. Double play depth up the middle of Singer and Ward. That one blocked in the dirt, kind of gets behind the catcher Affleck, but not far enough for Tomlinson to think about advancing. As 1 ball and no strikes the count. Double play depth up the middle, time called. So trying to get one of the Skyline coaches was standing up on the warning track by the dugout. They wanted to get him back into the dugout. The 1-0 pitch. That ball's lined right back up the middle. It's going to fall in front of Condon in center field. And so now Skyline with runners on at first and second. The tying run now in scoring position. The winning run over at first base. And Taylor Larson, who's 0 for 2, will stand to the plate. You're getting into the part of the lineup then that you have to then turn it over to the top of the lineup. And we'll see here if Skyline wants to maybe lay down the bunt and move those runners into scoring position. The nice thing about doing that is as long as Olympus is able to get the out at first base, it takes the double play away, and it also puts both runners in scoring position. Pops the bunt up. The one thing you don't want to do in that situation is pop the bunt up. That one will go foul, and it'd be no balls and a strike here on Taylor Larson. A popped up bunt, especially if an infielder is able to catch it here, defeats the whole purpose of laying down the bunt. No balls and a strike here on Larson. And now they're going to look the runner back, and Curtis just going to chase the runner back to the second base bag. Off the mound. It's Blake Tomlinson, the runner on at second base. It's Dakota Porter running over at first. Infield charges in for the bunt. Larson pulls it back and takes it for a ball and evens the count up at 1-1. Tomlinson right now with the idea that the shortstop and second baseman are going to go cover first and third base. Tomlinson at second can get a fairly big secondary lead. Once he sees the shortstop Singer break for that bag, he can get the lead. Larson lays the bunt, but it goes foul, and now it's 0-2 on Taylor Larson. And now the idea is you have to kind of potentially rethink laying down the bunt compared to letting Larson swing the bat here. If he bunts a third strike foul, it's the equivalent of an out. Generally, with 2 strikes, the bunt sign's taken off. Squaring around a bunt and pulls it back out in front of home plate. Called strike 3. They're going to say that it just went off the glove. That is the third strikeout for Hayden Curtis. And now with 1 gone, it's Garrett Parcell to the plate. Parcell is 1 for 2, a strikeout and a single. And now his head coach wants to have a quick conversation right now with the hitter. 1 gone here, bottom of the 7th inning. 4-3 lead, and right now, most of the pressure right now, well, I mean, with the 2 base runners on the base pass, I would say both teams probably feeling the pressure. But a little more probably towards Skyline, needing to come through with a clutch base knock or trying to just find a way to extend the ball game. Seth Callan on deck if the inning continues past Purcell, which it would as long as there's no double play. Tomlinson and Porter, the base runners, right now for Skyline. The pitch on its way, swung out and missed, strike 1. Hayden Curtis in his 2nd inning of relief. It was Adam Haas who went 5 innings for Olympus. The 0-1 pitch about to come home. Curtis comes home, swung out and missed as Parcell chased the pitch up. It's 0-2. Hayden Curtis right now would be the pitcher of record for Olympus. Adam Haas going to get a very tough no decision. Garrett Parcell, the only pitcher today for the Skyline Eagles. No balls and 2 strikes on Parcell. And now a time called, and they'll step off the mound here. Seth Callan on deck. Here's the 0-2 pitch, fouled, straight back to the screen. We'll do the 0-2 over again. Bottom of the 7th inning, 1 gone, a 4-3 game. The winner of this one gets the loser of the Spanish Fork Skyridge game tomorrow afternoon at 1:30. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. Runners get their leads at first and second. And here's the 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball is going to be chopped deep in the hole. Going to be tough to get to. It's bobbled by the shortstop. They'll get nothing. Everybody's safe. And now the winning run in scoring position for Skyline. That's going to be ruled an error against Singer. And now you go back to the top of the lineup, and now they'll go to a runner out at second base. That is number 16 coming in to run here for Skyline. That's Storheim, and now a visit out to the mound here. A lot of pressure now in this situation because a base hit here, if you're Olympus, you have to get a quick enough throw to the plate to make sure that the second run can score. And now we once again have seen where getting the speed up runner, Stroheim, off the bench and getting him into scoring position could come down to whether or not he can score on a base hit or a ball in the gap. A variety of different things could happen right now. We could be tied. We could have a Olympus win. We could have a Skyline win. Who knows what can happen here? 1 gone in the bottom of the 7th inning. Bases full. It'll be Seth Callan, who's 1 for 3 with a ground out to second or ground out to third, but had an RBI single back in the 1-run 5th inning for Skyline. We said hits have been at a premium. Both teams have started swinging the bats as the game went on. Each team has 7 hits. It's Olympus with 4 runs on 7 hits and 1 error. Skyline 3 runs on 7 hits and 1 error. Infield in right now for Skyline or for Olympus. Outfield's going to play pretty straight up, and the pitch on its way is going to be in there for a called strike to Seth Callan. A ground ball in the infield, and you have to think their first priority is going to be throwing home to get the runner there. No balls and 1 strike the count, ready to go. Callan at the plate, even stance in the box, the 0-1 pitch, over for a big called strike 2. Hayden Curtis here really in a strikeout situation. If he could get a big strike 3 call, it would be huge. Tomlinson at third. The pitch right on the corner and missed for a ball. It's 1-2 the count. And the Olympus faithful, you could tell they wanted that strike 3 call. Tomlinson at third. The runner out at second, Stroheim, and over at first, it's Parcell. The pitch on its way. Ground ball past the first baseman. The game is tied. Here comes Stroheim. The throw to the plate will be not in time. It's Skyline's advanced. It came down to who was up in the right time and the right situation. And for these 2 region rivals separated by 1.5 miles, the season series went to Olympus. But when the game really mattered, Skyline got their 1 win they needed to keep their season alive. Skyline will advance to play tomorrow afternoon at 1:30, where they will get the loser of Spanish Fork and Skyridge. That one coming up in just about an hour from now here on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com. Until then, I'm Ryan Pickens signing off from Brent Brown Ballpark, where Skyline's moving on. We'll find out who they'll play next here on KSL.com and DeseretNews.com.